Hey there, everybody. Franklin Taggart here. It's time for the virtual coffee break. Here is my coffee. Grab your beverage and let's chat for just a minute, shall we? Fall equinox happened tonight about 7:03 Mountain Time. So we are now in the beginning of fall 2022. The last quarter has now officially begun. And I'm excited about the last quarter. Generally, the last quarter of the year is usually one of my busiest. It's interesting that the last quarter of one year and the first quarter of the following year usually are the times when I am at my peak in terms of the number of clients that I have. And I expect this year to be no different. And I think a big part of that is that when fall rolls around and the weather starts getting a little bit cooler, people start to think about what are their projects going to be for the cold season. A lot of folks tend to go inward during this time, do things that are a little bit more reflective and a little bit more creative and personal. And so a lot of times, this is the time of year where I see people say, "Oh, I've been meaning to write a book. I've got everything almost ready to go, but I just haven't sat down and written it." And then they've got other folks who come to me and they've been saying, it's been a couple of years and I've been wanting to start a business, but I have not gotten it done yet. So I really want to do that. A couple of years ago, I remember I had 2 or 3 people step up right at the end of the year saying, I've wanted to start a podcast and I don't know how to do that. Or I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want to grow my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, but I'd really like to grow it now. And so these kinds of projects are starting to pop up. And what I would like to invite you to do is, if you are looking for someone who can help you just make a plan to get these projects finished over the next few months, give me a call. The best way to do this is to just use probably the best next step call, bit.ly/best next step call, and get in touch that way. And that way you can just schedule your appointment and we'll talk for an hour and figure out what needs to happen next. And but it's always fun for me to see how cooler weather and winter weather coming on gets people to think about, how am I going to spend this time coming up? We have a tendency to, not be as focused on outdoor activities. We're focused more on indoor activities. And some people are excited about doing things that are a little bit more family oriented, and some people are interested in doing things that are a little bit more of a personal goal or desire or dream. Well, whatever it is, I can help you to put together a strategy. And what I've seen happen in the past is, like, for example, if you wanted to start a podcast, we've had people start podcasts in the last few years that have gotten their podcast up and running in 8 to 12 weeks' time. And all it was we just did one thing at a time until that podcast was launched and until they were starting to reach an audience of people that were ready and waiting for such a thing to happen. Similar thing happened with the YouTube channel. We were looking at how can you get a YouTube channel ready to go, launched, populated with enough video for people to see the value of it, enough to subscribe. And again, it was about an 8 to 12 week commitment, and we were able to get it online and up and running and performing in a way that was satisfactory to the person who was starting it. It was interesting to me that during the pandemic, one of the things that happened a lot during the pandemic was people wanted to start blogs. Now, I find that interesting because blogs have been around so long and there are so many of them online. But I really have become, much more convinced that blogs are here to stay. They're still popular. They're still relevant. And if you have something that you want to say and you're a strong writer, a blog may just be the best way for you to, start getting your work out into the world and making connections and building an audience, especially if you have sights on ever publishing a book or something along those lines. Speaking of books, one of the projects that I have worked on with people over the last few years is helping them to get their book projects to the point where they were ready for editing. And so what that means is that we would go through and we would just look at, is the topic one that there seems to be a demand for? Is there a built-in audience for this book? Are there people that are already buying books with similar themes? And if so, where are they gathering? And so if you're interested in writing a book, we can do a lot of that preliminary research. I can help you set up the outline. I can help you get your manuscript ready for the first round of editing. And that's the thing that I think is really important, is that I'm a person who can just help you get those first steps taken so that you can gain momentum and you can carry out that project until you are ready to see it into the world. I'm excited to see what people bring to me this year. Again, if you are looking for someone who can help you create a plan of action, really envision what needs to happen, and then put together your step-by-step strategy, and then help you carry that strategy out week by week by week until you have a finished product in your hands, bit.ly/bestnextstepcall. If you have any questions at all, just get in touch, leave comments, or you can get in touch through the contact on my website, franklintaggart.com. And I'll look forward to working with you as we come into those inward months. Here we are, fall of 2022. It is now upon us. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I appreciate your time and your attention. Those are your two most valuable commodities, and I really am grateful that you would spend them with me. And I will look forward to hearing from you very, very soon. So long.